All right, everybody. So hoping and praying will get you somewhere in your head. However, the numbers, the actual reality when it comes to real estate market, it's totally different. So we are definitely sinking, and it's getting harder and harder to get that mindset, right? Because people are still living in the past, right? So unfortunately, you cannot change if you miss that window of opportunity, right? And I'm sure maybe your family members or the odd realtor was telling you, look, this is the peak, sell for top dollar or whatever. And 99% of the time, people said, look, like if this is the top, I'm sure it will not stop and it will continue to rise even more, right? So that's the mindset. What is happening today and how can we measure the future, right? So basically we cannot measure the future. However, we can see or we can calculate the possible outcome for the future. So taking into consideration that, 40,000 pre-construction units will be completed in 2025, another 30,000 in 2026. Everybody's breathing heavy, right? And most of these units were actually purchased from people owning a house. So they took the equity and they put on the deposits and whatnot, right? So that's why this condo market, in my opinion, is falling apart, right? Because that money for down payments most of the time was borrowed against something else, right? So it's credit on top of credit, debt on top of debt, right? So it doesn't work. And the inventory, it's crazy, right? So now when it comes to freehold real estate and that particular segment of the market, again, same thing is happening, right? People are not giving in because they're living in a dream and they're remembering the past. They don't believe it will happen, like the 90s crash or the financial crash in the United States in 2008, right? So they're living in this la-la land, hoping that it will hit again, right? We are smarter. We are smarter this time. It's not going to be as bad this time. We learned something. We know how to fix. Well, we maybe learned a lot of things, but if you got no money, you got no money, man. If you're sinking, you are sinking, right? It's like painting a big ship and it's sinking, right? Like you're putting money in all this beautiful paint, but you have a hole in your boat, man. You're gonna be sinking 100%, right? It's just when you realize, then probably too late, right? And you painted it for really no value whatsoever, right? Brings me to another point. When it comes to sales today, right? What would you rather buy? Like a direct question to you. Would you rather buy a smaller home, let's say 1,500 square foot detached home, or a house that's same price, not as nicely upgraded, but it's, let's say, 2,000 square feet with a double car garage versus a single car garage and all that stuff? So those are all the questions. Who are you targeting, right? And what is your price, right? Like, I get that, right? Like I get it. Like you spend years upgrading it, right? Some of these upgrades, by the way, are 20 years old that you did in your house. They're already 20 years old. So it's out of style. Like some of these things are out of style. Maybe at that time in the early 2000s, they meant something and you paid a lot of money for it. But today, they're not worth it. They're not. Like, they have to be upgraded once again in order to be at par. So finding that buyer, who is your buyer, right? Like that particular home, 1,500 square foot, like you're talking a first-time buyer or somebody that's downsizing that appreciates that type of quality, right? But I don't know if that's really the market, right? Because, people are looking, 2 families, 4 families that can buy a house. So 1,500 square foot home might not be the perfect scenario. So what do you have to do? You have to adjust, right? Like, and I tell these guys, you guys are going against semis, you guys are going against corner townhomes that are in that ballpark. So why is someone going to pay, you know, $200,000 more for a house like yours with a little bit bigger lot, same size, detached, fine, I get that, still in a subdivision? Why, right? So that's how you get that paralyzed market. On top of that, you know, we're dealing with bank rates, we're dealing with tariffs, we're dealing with this uncertainty in this market, and yet still everything is falling apart. And on that kitchen table, they're looking at me and they say, well, you know what, nah, I think we could do better. I'm like, look, with all the respect, it's like your house is on fire, all right, and you're trying to change your drapes. Like, it's not gonna like whatever you do, it's not going to change the outcome. It's already on fire. It caught fire, right? So if you're in the market to sell, you have to have the proper strategy, the proper price, and a proper angle, target specific demographic, specific client, and then hopefully land a deal within, you know, a month or two. I know it sounds funny because years ago, that wasn't even a topic. Like, we would sell within a day, upgraded, not upgraded, right? But today, unfortunately, we have to observe these different situations. We have to be in a position where we have to acknowledge that, you know, the future of the market, it's not looking good at all. It is not, right? Like, March of 2025 was the March of 2025. It was like horrible, all right? 2 times when it happened. It happened in 2009 in Canada, right? And it happened in the pandemic, right? And it's happening right now. And everything seems to be fine. Well, is it fine, right? That's the question, right? It's not. People are breathing heavy. Inventories sky high. It's definitely on the rise. So, like, we have to take that into consideration, and we have to take in like the competition, right? It is very important to look at the competition. Who are you competing against? That's the question. Who are you competing against, and how you will exit? That's the number one question. So I hope you got some value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.